Okay, everyone, welcome back to a special episode here of the Chasing the Monster podcast. I'm your host, David Karras, alongside my two co-hosts, Luis Gomez, and we have a special guest today, making his return to the podcast he helped to found. We got Griffin Aldrich. Thank you guys here for taking some time to help us put together a special episode here with the CTM crew. But before we get any further, how are you guys doing today?
Doing great. Can't complain. Sox been playing good. We lost the last series, but this is our first loss, and it's our first time losing back-to-back games since June 27, I believe. So we're doing good. How about you, Griffin?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I tell you what, all the way up in Portland, Maine, watching a lot of Sea Dogs games, so seeing the minor league players, shine down there. But other than that, doing pretty good. It's been great to see the Red Sox on a complete tear. Obviously, not as of recently, losing two consecutive games against the Padres, as you already mentioned, Lewis. But you also look at this is it shows they're human, we were looking at this juggernaut team, and every time you see them exceeding and doing so well, you're like, are they ever gonna lose? And then there's finally some kryptonite that strikes them, and they're like, hold on. So, but doing good. We're ahead of the Yankees. That's all that matters, right?
Yes,
Bro,
sir. I
that's one of
mean,
the
if the season ends today, we're in the playoffs.
We are. We are.
So,
We get to see October once again. If it ended right now. If it ended right now, of course.
oh yeah, we're desperate to play baseball in October. We're definitely. It's been a long run. We've been suffering for a lot of couple years. For the first time, it feels like it's been forever, but this is the most excited I've been in the second half, or at least for the last 4 years.
Yeah. How about you though, David? How are you doing with the Red Sox right now and in general?
I mean, in general, I'm doing great. It's another great day. It's always a great day when the Red Sox have a baseball game to play, that's for sure. Um, Other than that, I mean, our first series loss, like me and Lewis talked about last night, in 3 weeks. The last time we lost the series was that series on the road against Philadelphia towards the end of July, like July 20th, 21st range. So to go almost 3 weeks without losing a 3 or 4 game series is pretty impressive. Um, we got a series coming up against Houston, which we'll talk about later this week with recapping that. But the main thing that we're here to talk about today is the rise of Kristian Campbell down in Worcester. So we are going to discuss all things Kristian Campbell here today. He has had a bit of a roller coaster ride of a season. He didn't perform the best in spring training. I think fans thought of the big three, maybe it would have been Marcelo Meyer, who out of spring training made the opening day roster. I think a lot of us were surprised to see Kristian Campbell be the one to get the nod at second base opening day. But he started the season with the big league crew up in Boston. Right around opening day or the home opener, he was awarded with an 8-year, $60 million extension from Craig Breslow in the front office. I think that that's going to be an amazing contract. It is a low risk, high reward contract. I mean, obviously, this has not been the season that Kristian Campbell hoped for, or any of us have really hoped for, but he's still only 22, 23. The kid's still got so much more time to improve and contribute at the big league level. There's a case to be made that he's probably only on the opening day roster because he agreed to sign a contract extension. I think that theory is totally fair. But yeah, he went off in April. I believe he's batting 300 or right around there towards the end of April. People were already saying in early May that he could be an early Rookie of the Year favorite. And then he started to go on a downward trend, and he's been in Worcester for almost 2 months now. We sent him down right around June 20th, I believe. So apologies for this tangent, guys. We'll get into your thoughts in a couple seconds here, but basically up until probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, Campbell had been struggling in Worcester. The intention with him going down to Worcester was not only work on his mechanics, but also learn a new position, being first base. So he's started pretty slow in Worcester, not really making too many waves, but I'd say the last 2 or 3 weeks he's been incredible. He just had a 15 game winning streak. His stats overall in Worcester this season are 268 average, 5 home runs, 20 RBIs, taking 25 walks. None of those numbers are super sexy, as we know, but the sexiest number to me is his on base percentage being 402. So what that means is after every 10 at bats, 40% of the time his at bat is ending with him getting on base. And most of it's come in the last few weeks. And just as recent as yesterday, he homered. So I think personally, everything's starting to come together for Campbell. And it's coming together at the right time because we'll talk about this a little bit too. But we have a slumping first baseman in Boston that we'll get into in a little bit. So it's kind of forcing the Red Sox to make a decision here. But honestly, aside from all of his success at the plate recently in Worcester, he's been playing great defense at first. And I always thought that that was the plan, or what should be the plan moving forward for Campbell, is to learn how to play first base, because his defense was not that great at second when he was up here. And even in Worcester, he's not fully playing at first. He's playing first and second. His defense down there still leaves a lot to be desired, but I love the way he's playing at first. I watched that game yesterday. He made a nice diving stop at the plate or at the bag. Saturday, he ran down a fly ball down the first base foul line. So he's doing his job at first. But I just went on for a long time there. What are your guys' thoughts on everything surrounding Kristian Campbell here as the season and these last few weeks that he spent down in Worcester? Lewis, you'll go first.
I feel like he's been, when he got over there, like he was struggling. He wasn't. He didn't look like the Kristian Campbell from last year. He looked different when we sent him to AAA, but I see that he's been doing he did like a mechanic thing, like he stopped shaking the bat that much. He's been working on his mechanics, and he's figuring it out now, and he's hitting the ball. He's crushing the ball recently. And Campbell, he showed it in April that he has the potential to be one of the best. He showed it in April. He couldn't make the adjustments to the pitchers. The big leagues, they make adjustments right away and they throw you what you can't hit. He didn't react to that really well, so we had to send him to Double A and to Triple A and let him figure it out. It's different for everyone, like the process. Um, it's part of baseball, but I feel like he's looking more aggressive now with his swing. He's starting to pull the ball, and we haven't seen a home run from him pulling the ball in a while. I will say like last year maybe was the last time, because majority of his home runs in the big leagues are the other way. He has tremendous pop. He could go the other way and stuff, and also him getting reps at first, I feel like it's better for him, even defensively. Defensively, because he could play outfield as well. So he's pretty good with fly balls. So that's not like no trouble for him. And we saw it yesterday or on Saturday. So I feel like playing first base will be better for him. Just literally running back to first, just playing catch. Trying to make it simple. I feel like that's a pretty good move for him, and especially because he's an athlete as well. So I feel like he's gonna be fine playing him first, maybe even better. You do want to make sure he gets as much reps as he can, and hopefully we call him up soon, because I feel like he's showing that the Campbell that we all know. The Red Sox would have never extended him if he wasn't that good. They definitely see something in him that's why they extended him. So hopefully we call him up soon, and Toro, we DFA Toro or something, because I know he doesn't have options.
Yeah, I would say, just looking at Campbell's game as a whole, I feel like the first thing is, and David, you mentioned this earlier, is his call up was way too fast. Obviously you see players like Mookie Betts in the past who spent very little time in the minor leagues, and got called up fast. I think he played even 2 weeks in Portland. Very a little sample size. So you see guys who are just from the get go MLB ready. However, with Kristian Campbell, obviously there wasn't that. There were still critiques that he had to have with his game. And obviously, with Costas going down earlier in the season, there was a gaping hole at first base. And Campbell, obviously, like you guys have already mentioned, struggling at second base. There's all right. Well, we have enough outfielders. We don't really need a third baseman with Bregman. We don't need a shortstop because you have Sedan that could either play there or Marcelo, and obviously Story is the first shortstop right now. But first base is really the hole that you need to fill. So Campbell, getting reps at first, and I even saw they had Yoshida getting reps at first, right? Did they didn't?
They
So
did, yeah.
that's correct, but I'm shaking my head because I just cringed at
No,
seeing
yeah,
that clip.
I agree. I feel like with Yoshida, I got to see him in person, but you
It's
need
gonna
a
get to sorry to really quickly cut you off, but it's getting to the point, guys, where Breslow and Cora are gonna ask all three of us to start taking reps at first base.
no, that's what I'm
No,
saying.
I
Like,
feel like. Sorry, you could go.
yeah, no, I agree. I feel like they've seen a lot of people there, but Campbell, I feel like could actually fill that hole if they give him the proper, training. That's what I'm saying. Like they've tried everyone there. They've tried Yoshida there. I'm sure they obviously tried to get Devers over there before the Devers trade. They've tried to get everyone to play first. However, Campbell is a guy who, if they develop him correctly, he could potentially be our starting first baseman. But I don't see Campbell going up till the call ups when it's a 28-man roster. I feel like they could go with Justinson Garcia or Cam. I feel like that's when Campbell definitely gets the nod and comes back up. But I have a question for you guys. If Campbell exceeds at first base and just is stunning, do you think that makes the case for them to trade Casas once he comes back? Or is he on an expiring deal? I'm not sure about that, but what are your thoughts?
So I 1,000% think that Casas. I could be wrong, but I'm 99.99% sure Casas will not be the opening day first baseman in 2026. I think all of this work right now with Campbell in the minors is prepping him to be our starting first baseman in 2026. I think, and I honestly, I'm a huge Casas supporter, but it's really hard to stand by a player. And again, this isn't his fault at all, but it's just hard to stand by a player who has not stayed healthy. Um,
And
I
that's what you
he,
constantly see with him. Sorry for cutting you off, but that's what you see with Casas. Like he has never been able to stay stable with the Red
and
Sox.
that's what we did with Story. I mean, Story won his first 3 seasons with us without being healthy. But the difference is we had an obligation to at least see what Story could do when healthy because we're paying him 23 million versus paying Casas whatever it is, like six figures. So we were already there's rumors that him and Cora haven't gone along since the start of last year. There was rumors that when Casas was hurt for a couple months last year, the front office and Cora were getting pissed at how like slow he was taking to get back. I think there's friction there. I think there's truth to the rumors. We tried to trade Casas this off season, so I don't think he'll be in the roster for that much longer. And I wouldn't be feeling great if I'm Casas and I see the Red Sox asking Yoshida, Vaughn Grissom, Kristian Campbell, and now Josinson Garcia all to start playing first base.
I
Like
know.
I don't think
Well,
Casas is going to be on the team next year.
and you saw Garcia? He has his first baseman glove already. He has one. I'm like, wow.
No, I can I say though, I think out of all of those guys, I think Garcia should play first just because his height. But
And we don't need another outfielder. I can agree with that.
Yeah, I think just thinking about Yoshida at first, that looks wrong.
he's too small. Like you need
That looks
someone who can
wrong.
stretch out and really go get a ball. You need someone, and Justin Garcia is a tall, lengthy guy. He could stretch out and get a ball.
Yeah, I saw Yoshida in person, and I saw him in Yankee Stadium. He looks like a little midget. Like he looks really short. He really does, and like his running is a little bit funny. So I imagine that going to like running to first right now. I can't. I can't.
Hey, Yoshida had so much aura though with that Sea Dogs Scooby Doo jersey that he wore for that rehab game. That was
Should I
incredible.
pull? Should I go find it and pull it up for you guys?
Please do, Griffin. Pull that up for us in a little bit. So I want to ask you this question, Lewis, though, because me and Griffin both agreed on this, and I didn't get your answer on this one. Do you think we called up Campbell too early to start the season? Because he's accelerated through the system. We drafted him in 2023, and a year and a half later, he made it to the majors. Like he was
Yeah,
crazy in the minors last season, and he earned a spot on the opening day roster. But do you think we called him up a little bit too quickly?
I feel like we did. I feel like we did call him way too quickly. I could see why the Red Sox definitely wanted him in the team because he has potential. He does, but it was too quickly. It was. Yeah, I also understand you want him to get as more reps as he can in the big leagues. To adapt and learn because that's like the life of a rookie. Learning, always learning different pitchers every day. Trying to figure them out and stuff like that. But I feel like we did, and I don't know. Maybe I don't know if it could have been a difference if we would have called him now. But I feel like it's been, if things happen, they happen for a reason, and maybe because it's not like he sucked the first month of the season. He actually won Rookie of the Month and stuff like that. The problem was more like he couldn't adapt to the pitchers try and started throwing at him differently, and he couldn't do the adjustment. And that's part of a rookie. And not everyone is like Roman Anthony. He looks unstoppable. Even Marcelo Meyer has gone through that. Like he's been after the beginning he was really good, and then he was struggling before he got injured. But I feel like going to AAA, and you could tell his swing difference. He stopped shaking his bat. Like he looks way better right now, and I feel like now that he has experience with with that or like 40 games that he played in, and definitely going back to AAA and figuring out things with his swing and stuff like that, making the adjustment with batting cages and stuff like that, and like the machines and stuff like that. Definitely, he will come back even stronger, even more readier. I feel like, especially at first base, because you don't want to put him just at first base. Just like like, oh, let's put him at first when he never like play there before. So I feel like he had to be called to the AAA to the he had to be called if he wanted him to get reps. And if he was gonna do errors at first base, you rather him do it at AAA instead of the big leagues because this team is winning right now. So you rather see that in the minors until he could adjust.
Yeah, the photo, Griffin.
Well, Griffin, one question by the way. I see you have taken pictures of the password.
So let me just while Griffin's working on that, we'll get to the photos of the pastor and then Yoshida, I'm assuming. But Lewis, you said you're out. Are you basically out on Toro? That's what you were saying earlier. Are you done with the Abraham Toro experience? Or are you willing to ride this out for a few more weeks? Because
I I could tell you, I'm not a big fan of Toro. I was never a big fan of him. The
in
After Casas.
in his
Say it
last
again.
15 games, he's hitting 149. Just for some more context on Toro. I mean, I will say, like earlier in the summer, the Romy Toro platoon was working. You had Romy against lefties and Toro against righties, but like we knew this plunge was coming. We should have gone to first baseman at the deadline. We knew this was coming. So where I
Yeah,
stand is I don't
No.
know if we'll DFA Toro, but Campbell is right up Toro's tail in terms of forcing Breslow and Cora to really sit down and think about this in a few weeks.
And I think Toro's a good guy to come off the bench. He reminds me, I don't see him as an everyday player, but like more so a Rob Ref Snyder role, like how Rob Ref Snyder used to be at least, where Rob Ref Snyder was just a good bench piece to come off the bench. I feel like that's where I would feel more comfortable with Toro, if you guys agree with that. But I do have the Scooby Doo picture. I found it. If you guys want me to pull it up now, are you guys ready for it?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
so much aura.
that's
That
fire.
is. But I have a question for you guys. So I was working on some other images, and then we could get ready to do whatever after. But I was looking at this. So you guys remember the Derek White ale ad, right? With the Sam Adams beer. Now we got the Bregman ad. What are your guys' thoughts with Alex Bregman with Samuel Adams now?
He fits the picture. He looks amazing.
What about
He
you?
looks amazing.
That looks like such a genuine smile. Like he just looks so happy to be ingratiated in the Boston community. I mean, you gotta love to see it.
It looks normal. It looks like he fits.
Please don't screw this up, Red Sox. Like get this guy locked up long term. He seems to love it here. I love watching him. I know you guys love watching him. Like we need him here. Let's just get this done this off season, please.
You got him. Got him.
Lewis, you want to wrap up your thoughts on Toro, though? Sorry for cutting you off there.
Oh, you're good. You're good. At first, he was like actually at some point when Casas got hurt and he got called up. Casas was struggling. Casas wasn't doing good for us. And here comes Toro. I'm like, okay, we're gonna suck even more right now. So let's see what's gonna happen. It was actually the opposite. Toro was actually having better at bats than Casas and coming through for the team. But I know it wasn't gonna be for the whole season. At some point, I knew that was gonna happen, but it was working. It was working for us. So I was like, maybe we could get some Kristian Campbell to work on first base in the minors, and meanwhile we could platoon with Romy and Toro, and it was actually a good. We were doing really good with that thing at some point, but now we're not. His batting average is getting lower and lower. He's having his quality at bats are not that good anymore. He's just being terrible, and I'm not gonna lie with you. As long the Red Sox kept winning, I was like, we gotta carry Toro. But then if he's really sucking like that, then we gotta get rid of him. So for me, it depends. Right now, I will literally take Campbell, but I also depends on how this series is going to be like. If we keep winning the series, I will keep him. But if at some point we need, it's like, okay, yeah, we gotta get rid of him. He sucks. Then we DFA him and call our Campbell.
So we'll wrap it up with this final question here. We kind of already danced around the topic throughout the whole 20 plus minutes we've been talking here, but is Kristian Campbell going to get called back up this season, or will he spend the rest of the season in the minors? Griffin, yes or no?
No. Yes, he will get called back up. I think when September rolls around, I believe when you have the 28-man roster, it's 28, right? Yeah, 28.
Yeah, 28.
Yep, 28. When you have the 28-man roster, I think that's a name that's going to come up for the tail end of the year, get some at bats, and there's no reason not to. I think so. I would go for it. I would say yeah, he comes back up. I think they're going to wait till that 28-man roster though.
What about you, Lewis?
We'll definitely have to call him up at some point. And like Griffin said, maybe on September 1st when it's 28-man roster. So I feel like that's the guy that we need, especially it's going to be the first time ever that the big three are in the big leagues together. So that will be really
Hopefully
nice.
Myers.
Yeah, that would be really nice. And that's like maybe Campbell at some point will be like, oh, Roman is going off. Like that inspires him to do like inspires him to do really good. But I have a feeling that Campbell's gonna be a better player and more prepared to end the season. He
What
will
about
look
you,
better.
David?
Yeah,
I have a feeling.
I'm with you guys. I think Campbell's going to be up in the majors in September, like you guys said. There'll be a September call up, and hopefully help us in this playoff push. I think it's worked out as well as it could, allowing Campbell to go back down to Worcester, work on his skills, fine tune his hitting, work on his defense at first, while Toro and Gonzalez hold down the fort at first. And now Campbell's become a more um, fully a more threatening player on both sides of the diamond here in baseball, and I think he'll be able to contribute hopefully to some winning baseball here come September for the Red Sox. But that is going to do it for this episode here, special episode here of Chasing the Monster podcast, where we talked all things Kristian Campbell and some Red Sox as well in general. Guys, I want to thank you guys for coming on here, doing this on such short notice. This is fun. I like these little impromptu episodes, and we're going to keep pumping out content to end this 2025 season on a high note here for the Chasing the Monster Nation. So that's going to do it for us today. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we will talk to you guys very soon. Have a great day and take care.
Peace.